But they took me out from my house and they broke my leg, and I was with them for almost 1 month, and I still don't know what they wanted, and then I managed somehow to escape them.
The brutality of life under the Taliban.
The fear I felt was for my own people, like relatives. They knew everything about me. So that's why I wanted to live a bit for my own relatives.
Like more than 15,000 Afghans to date, Anwar, not his real name, has arrived in the UK under the Afghan Relocation and Assistance Scheme known as ARAP. During the war in Afghanistan, he served alongside the Welsh Guards as an interpreter. Those accepted to come to the UK under ARAP can bring their families. But how does the scheme work? Individuals who feel they're eligible for the scheme initially apply online. That application is assessed by the Ministry of Defence, and if successful, the individual or individuals move to a nominated third country, typically Pakistan. From there, an aircraft brings the individuals to the United Kingdom and into the scheme. They arrive at a location like this, a British military base, this one near Chepstow, close to the England-Wales border. Arrivals can stay here initially for a limited number of weeks. They're provided with shelter, catering, access to healthcare, and activities for the children to stay entertained. It's also the first stage in the process of preparing the Afghans for integration into British life. They're provided bank accounts, get help applying for benefits, and introduced to some of the more subtle of British traditions, standing in a queue, waiting for the local bus. Kareem is a member of staff here. His job is to help those arriving settle into their new lives. He was himself an arrival just last year, having previously worked for the British Council in Afghanistan. Because you've experienced leaving Afghanistan and coming here yourself, are you able to help the families more than perhaps most people might be able to help them?
Yes, of course, because we've been through these schemes and we really know how people should do, what people should do. So it is not just about being interpreter to them, but we sometimes give them advice on how to live here and tell them about cultures and other things that we already know and have learned here in the UK.
ARAP is making more eligibility decisions than ever before, but it hasn't always been so efficient.
When the Taliban start taking all over provinces, I applied for the ARAP, relocation system. But unfortunately, they replied me after 1.5 year ago. After 1.5 year, when I applied.
In all that time you were waiting, did you know anything about how it was progressing? While the situation is arguably getting worse in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I knew everything. I was more worried for my kids, for my family members. So it was worrying me a lot. So the only option I had at that time was to move from one location to another location.
The MOD acknowledges these delays, but adds it's got its backlog down to around 2,000 applications, which it describes as complex cases. It's an inspiring operation, but some might ask why it sits within a military tasking. Why is the work here being overseen by soldiers?
Why is it our role? We've been told to do it, but also I know there's a bit of confusion around Op Lazurite. What happened is the security situation changed, the number of people that are arriving across into the UK increased, and so we needed a rapid response, and the military were asked to do that. And we're able to do that because we have people, we have locations, and we're able to support government on supporting the Afghanistan EPs. This task is finite. There is an end to the number of EPs going to be arriving under this scheme. So thereafter, we'll go back to normal. I'll go back to my day job, being unit command.
Regardless of the reasons why, it is firmly a military operation here, and it all works like clockwork. People arrive, they get the help they require, and they get settled. It's changing people's lives, and in many cases, saving them from the harms of the Taliban. From here, the Afghans are moved into more permanent homes, currently surplus service families accommodation, where they can stay for 3 years. After that, or before if possible, it's into society and on with the rest of their lives. James Wharton, Forces News, Beachley Barracks. Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.